Hey, Robert, how are you? Uh, I will have the books, hopefully, the new book rather, hopefully in the mail by Thursday or Friday. So be a little patient, okay? And thank you very, very much for purchasing book number 2. Anyway, I just want to wait a little bit until the chat populates somewhat before I start a lesson. Okay? How you making out with the vamps? The 8th note vamp with the left hand, for example. Ouch. Sorry. The triplet vamp. And the 16th note vamp. We having any issues or any problems? Because I want to add to that the vamping thing, the 8th notes, the 16th notes, and the 8th note triplets. And again, we're going to take it from the stick control book. You're still working on it? Well, it takes time. You know, there's a lot. I overwhelm everybody with so much to do, and I think that's a good thing because everybody learns a lot. Well, what I do with the vamping thing, it depends on my situation during the day. If I have a free day, which I don't have anymore, I would turn the metronome on various tempos. For example, if I started at 100, and I would just work on a drum pad, 4 measures with the right, 4 measures with the left. I'll do it slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 2 and 2 and 3 and 4. And 2 and 3 and 4. 4 and 2 and left and go. And 1, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 3, 2, 3, 4. 4, 2, 3, 4. And I'll keep doing that for a minute or two at a variety of tempos. You know, I don't start off fast because, you know, you could get some kind of injury going on there, and you don't want that. So, for example, if I'm doing, like, I'll up the tempo a little bit with the rights. 4 to left. Okay? Now, that's the simple part by themselves. 4 measures with the right, 4 measures with the left. Same thing with the triplets. 4 measures with the the right, 4 measures with the left. And the 16th, the same thing. Now, believe it or not, I'm going to show you something today that's going to help you actually with the vamp. Because sometimes doing the vamp is a very mental thing as far as, you know, and physical, but you say, oh, I can't make it at this tempo, and you struggle because you concentrate too much on that. So let's let the left hand, for example, go. And just relax. Just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, I'm sorry. And the way you're going to make that stronger is to play against it. Okay? So what do you mean by play against it? All right, I'm not going to take the simple part. Well, yeah, let's take the simple part first. Okay? For example, if I go to the stick control book, page 5, line 1, it's written 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So I eliminate the lefts and just play the rights. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to eliminate all the lefts now that I'm going to reference off the stick control book and eliminate all the lefts. So I'm just going to play the rights on the floor tempo. 1, 2, 3, 4 against the vamp. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, a lot of different things That's okay, Mr. Otterson. That's there's a lot of things being developed here. The use of the bass drum, the hi-hat, the snare drum, and the floor tom-tom. You're playing against the pattern. And that's going to strengthen you just to do this by itself. Agree? Disagree? Anyway, that's the easy part. Let's really challenge that. Let's take line 1 of page 5, of line 1 of page 5 of the stick control book, and say, all right, let's start a formula. Let's make the R's become the bass drum, and the lefts become the right hand on the floor tom-tom. So now, with that being said, if I did line 1 and 2 and 3, that's pretty simple. 1, 2, 3, 4. What really gets confusing about this is you're going to say, well, what is the right, what is the left as you continue? So make it a habit to just slowly do it. Remember, R, R equals the bass drum. R equals the bass drum, L equals the right hand on the floor tom-tom. So if I'm playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, with that formula, I'd have and you want to add the left foot. Okay, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I'm just so tired. I've been in my drum studio for the last 2 months, from the minute I get up to the minute I go to sleep. So excuse a little being tired here. But so we're working the R as the bass drum, L as the floor tom-tom, and your left hand is consistent. Do we understand that? Gentlemen, there's somebody else in here, but nobody's in the chat. Okay, line 2. Now remember, R equals the bass drum. No, yeah, R equals, and left equals the right hand on the floor tom-tom. So now this is going to reverse itself. So you're going to have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so now you have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Line 2. 1. Line 3. Nice and slow. A little faster. Line 3. Sorry. Now it's hard to do that because you want to put it together, but then you want to level out your voices. You want to make that snare drum a little lighter and really pronounce Mr. Floor Tom and Mr. Bass Drum. So now if you're going to do line 3, notice how light I'm trying to play that hand. And make that left hand as consistent as possible. Okay? Now we go, I like line 5, for example. Doing the paradiddle. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you understand how I'm approaching this. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time on it, but that's going to do a lot of different things for you. You know, you're not really concerned too much now about that movement of the left hand. You're putting it in place, and you're trying to play it as soft as possible against your floor tom-tom voice and your bass drum voice. You want to make that the dominant voices against the 8th note vamp. Now this is one of 3 of the 8th note vamps. Well, actually Yeah, it is one of three, of four rather. I'm sorry. And then we have the triplet vamp, and we have the 16th note vamp. Each one has a four. Okay, yeah, you understand everything. Everybody understands. It's just a matter of, the element of time and doing it. It is just so much to practice. You get so overwhelmed with things to do, you don't know where to start. Or if you spend some time on something like this, oh well, I want to get my hands a little bit better, or I want to read, or I want to do some linear things. It's difficult. You have to say to yourself, okay, today, for example, if you were to sit down and practice, put in your mind, this is what you want to practice. Whatever it is you select to practice, that's what you're going to practice. And practice it for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, and stop. Tomorrow will come, or you're going to practice again later on, or tomorrow morning, or tomorrow afternoon, whatever. You review that a little bit, see how it feel how it feels. All right? And then work on to something else. But before you sit down to practice, say to yourself, this is what I'm going to practice today. If I'm practicing the ostinato patterns, the cymbal ostinato patterns with the variations of the drumming of the bass drum and the backbeat on 2 and 4, we'll work on them. Under no pressure. You're striving to become better. And practicing means you want to get whatever you're practicing better. It's simple as that. Okay, so I just demonstrated the 8th note vamp with no accents with the left hand, just straight ahead 8th notes. And I added to that, I made all the R's equal the bass drum and all the lefts equal the right hand on the floor tom-tom. We understand it. It's a good exercise for everybody. Okay, so with that being said, and Mr. Otterman, I told Robert, the books will be completed by Thursday. Hopefully I can put them in the mail by Friday. So if anybody's interested in purchasing the hardcover, or that's only in the U.S., the price is $45, and that includes shipping and handling. And if you want the PDFs, we came with a price of $25 this time, and I could send you the PDFs. If you want them, just add money to my PayPal account for the book or the PDFs, but send it to me as a gift. Okay? Now, I'm trying to start something new. It's not really new. Nobody really responded to it. Everybody has my email. And we're so overwhelmed with so many different things to do. So what I would recommend, and I really would appreciate this, if I get some email stating you're requesting me to work on, when you get the book, say formula number 28 or formula number 4, or can I explain that, or so on and so forth. And I will do that. That's the objective of the email, the correspondence. Now, is there any request? If you're going to send for the PDFs or you're going to send for the book, I'm not going to be able to bring them out until Thursday or Friday. So just remember that, okay? Now, is there any request, anything that you would like to go over that we've done in the last month or two? Any request? I would appreciate it. And could somebody give me the definition, okay, of the 3-2, 2-3, or the rumba, clave? What does it mean? Because I have so many different arguments going on with this, and I would like to straighten it out. So can somebody just give me the definition what clave, the son clave means? I'll wait a few minutes, or a few seconds rather, until I get a response. Now, I'm going to get a lot of feedback on this next statement. Yet, the definitions that are out there are contradictory. Now, I had a good friend. All right. I had a good friend. He is originally from Brooklyn, but he moved to California. And he was the man, a go-to man if you needed any questions answered or you didn't understand Latin rhythms. He was a master at that. You know, I saw him in clinic a few times, and he said to me, "Well, in order to play the music, you have to live amongst the people," and he's correct. You have to eat their rice and beans or whatever they eat, and understand their culture, and you will play Latin music well. But anyway, getting back to 3-2-2-3, the son clave, it's clave is a rhythmic structure. It's a constant structure. It's three against two. For example, if I'm doing if I'm counting 16th notes, here's my clave: one E and da, two E and da, three ah ah. One E and da, two E and da, three E and four. One E and da, two and ah jackadoo da ah. Now, a statement I stays with me. Okay, the statement that stays with me when I first met. He's deceased now. Chuck Silverman. He said, "If there's no clave, there's no Latin music." And you know what? He's right. Because everything's predicated over those three forms. One and, that two, and. Ah, 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 ah. There's two more I'm not going to get into. But anyway, the definition is it's the rhythmic key. And it has to be constant. Now, here comes my controversy with that. The term ostinato is a repetitive pattern, which you play off of. And the clave is the rhythmic key, which you play off of. But the rhythmic key is constant. One and da two jun ga. Now, if that's going to be constant, is that not the same as an ostinato? One E and da two and three E and da four and. For example, if I play uh one, two, three, and four, and play it off of that, I'm playing that bottom or that figure over and over again. That's the same thing with an ostinato. I mean, a son clave. Jane Gop. Now, I'm not, I don't really play a whole lot of Latin music, but I do research it and I do talk about it. And there's a fella, his name is Billy Martin. He's pretty visible in the drum community, and he has a book, and I have it over there, on the clave. The clave means a rhythmic key, which is played off of. The music starts off, the melody starts off that way, the music starts off, and it's constant. It's all within. It's perhaps sometimes not pronounced, but it's played off of. So that's a constant rhythm. So my problem with that is, if that's the definition, a rhythmic pattern which you play off of, is that not the same as an ostinato? Yes, no, agreed, disagreed. Agreed, disagreed. 6 people are watching, and only 2 people are in the chat. Okay, so we'll just put that aside. I just wanted to make that not an issue, but talk about it somewhat. Okay, so now let's talk about, is there any kind of thing that you guys want to go over? Because I really didn't prepare anything for this afternoon. Only because I've been just working, writing. I feel like a computer technician. Now, what you're going to have in here is about 140 stick control book patterns. They're formulas, okay? That's what you're going to have. And plus, in addition to that, you're going to have the basic rudiments, or breakdown on the rudiments. So I'm estimating the book to be about 175 to 180 pages, or 82 pages, or whatever. But whatever, and I can keep writing and writing and writing for the next, I don't know, 6 months. and just keep adding them, and the book would be so big, the shipping would be unbelievable. But anyway, is there anything that you guys would like to review? Because, like I said, I haven't prepared anything. We could work in the workbook, book number 1. If you want to, just give me a symbol ostinato pattern, and we'll work with it. Or something that we've gone over in the past that you want to make sure that you understand it a lot better. No response? Okay. Jazz patterns. Come on, any requests, gentlemen? Workbook. What is this? What do we got here? Well, again, 6-stroke roll. Okay. All right. Let me do this in 4/4 time. The six-stroke roll is a pretty common rudiment to be used, and it just what it is it's 6 strokes. But what formation can you put it in? Here's the first formation. Hey, Jim. Joe Shield, what's up, man? All right, let's talk about the 6-stroke roll. Let's go to the 4/4 time signature. I'm going to have 1 quarter note, which is going to be this. I'm going to have 1, then 4/8 notes, 2 and 3 and another quarter note, 4. So what I'm doing there is I'm going 1, 1, 2 and 3 and 4. That's one way. Okay? Now, a lot of guys disagree with this. I don't. 2/16 or 2/8 notes and 4/16. Absolutely, with the accents on the first stroke and the last stroke. You have 1, but notice the level system here. It's 1, 2, and 3, and look where I'm at 4. 4. I'm in position now to attack it again. 1. All right, then you could have 2/8 and 4/16. Now some guys say that's not a 6-stroke roll. That's 2/8 notes and 4/16. Well, that to me isn't that not what we're doing? So anybody who could say that is pretty ignorant, in my opinion. The next guy, besides 2/8 and 16, is 2/16 and 4/32. That's about the common place that I use it about 3 different ways. You said you have it, what, 4 different ways? Or 6 different ways? Wow. Well, that's giving you the roll, Mr. Otterson. The first note of the 6 and the last note of the 6. If I go like this, 1, 2, and, she's left hand. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. That's pretty, like basic. Isn't this better? Never mind. Yeah, well, we're going to get into that with the six-stroke roll, as a matter of fact, and with a lot of different rolls. Uh, Let me see. If I did a triplet roll into a quarter note, if I did a triplet one and a two, uh, yeah, let's do that. Let me think of this figure. I'm gonna show you the fills. One and two. That's a triplet. One and two. So now, if I make the first two notes of the triplet, one and two, 3, 4, around the set. My left hand's all screwed up, but definitely there's a lot of fills actually from the syncopation book. We're going to start dealing with a figure or two of this, all the figures actually, but one at a time, and maybe two at a time, and like a 2-measure increment, and we're going to fill it in with rolls. And you're going to find that there's 5-stroke rolls, 6-stroke rolls, 7-stroke rolls, and 9-stroke rolls on the drum set. Now, last night when I was laying down, I don't know, I'm a wacko, I guess. There's a figure in the Buddy Rich book. It's in the back of the book, and I said, yeah, well, it's really odd that we're talking about the 6-stroke roll now, because I could add to that with the 6-stroke roll. There's a lot of things we're going to do. Right now, I'm totally exhausted. I'm all not drummed out, but man, I'm so zoned in with that computer. What I'm asking you gentlemen, and Joe, you could do this too, and Mr. Woman, I ask for a request that you want to review things that we haven't done, or we've done already, you're not certain of, or you want to revisit them. It's always good to revisit things. Any request on that? Well, the term fills, first off, that's another issue I have. Fills means to put something in the space or the blanks. Yeah, check this fill out, you could use it. Or check that fill out, you could use this. I've referred to fills as lead-ins because when I play lead-ins, or you call them fills, is to the melody. So I call it lead-in, and some people call it fills. See, that's why I think that the drumming language should be universal. No requests, huh? We're quiet on it. Everybody knows everything that we've gone over. You guys must practice 10 hours a day. Let me ask you guys a question here. There's Robert, there's Joe, and there's Mr. Otterson. Can you please tell me? Right, Joe. Okay, you seem to agree everything I say. How long do each of you practice? Robert and Mr. Otterson and Joe. How long do you guys practice? Let's go on a quest and make the drumming language universal and fight with everybody who doesn't understand it. No, let me explain. Linear. We're going to do a lot of that coming up too. Any questions on the linear stuff that I've given you so far? You can call them lead-ins, you can call them fill-ins. Okay, that's a good thing, Mr. Woolman. Mr. Shields, how long do you practice every day? Well, I wish I had the time to practice as much as I'd like. But I'm really busy doing other things. I'm, with the drums. So I guess, anybody here ever mental practice? Do we know what that is? Mental practice? Anybody know what mental practice? Anybody does that? Or if they don't do it, do you know what it is? Harmonic coordination, guys. Cross harmonic coordination. That's pretty good there, Mr. Otterson. Okay. Mental practice. Now, let's talk about that. For example, if I want to say play eighth note triplets against the jazz time, in my mind I'm thinking that I'm envisioning the ride cymbal where it belongs. It's downstroke, it's downstroke, it's a free stroke down, up free stroke down, or one and a two and a three and a four. So I'm envisioning myself behind the drum set. I'm not behind the drum set, I'm just thinking of it. And now I want to play the eighth note triplets. So I see my left hand and I hit it on the snare drum as one and a two and a three and a four and I put both of them together mentally, put the bass drum and the hi-hat all together mentally. That will strengthen your that will strengthen your drumming because it has to come from your mind to go through into to your limbs. So it will strengthen it. It's a good thing to get into, mental practice. I mean, there's a lot I mentally practice. And yes, I get to the drum set. It's a different world, but I'm ahead of the game there. I understand what I'm going to do. So guys should try that. Like we all are adults. We all have different obligations in this world. Like you just said here, Mr. Joe, that, you have other obligations. Well, so do I, and so does Mr. Otterson and Robert and whoever else is listening as well. So you try to make great use of your time. Now, tonight at 7 p.m., I will be working on some linear concepts. We will be on my channel, okay? And that's mattpatellalivelessons.com. And for the new people who are here and watching that haven't been here before, if you'd like to frequent this, and if you want to go to my other website, okay, guys. Sometimes I walk around like a zombie because I'm thinking about, not a zombie, I just use that as a term, playing something on the drum set. My wife is having a conversation with me. And then 2 days later, I said, well, what do I have to do today? She goes, I told you yesterday, but I don't remember because my mind is zoned in someplace else. And it gets you in trouble sometimes. But make the best of it. So tonight, my website, we're going to work on some linear concepts. And yeah, Joe, workbook number 2 will be completed by Thursday. Will be in the mail by Friday. So if you'd like to Joe, I wouldn't go that far. Well, I guess the term masturbation means to play with yourself, and that's what you're doing, mentally playing the drums. When you practice, you are playing the drums to learn something. I guess you could say that. There's the terms. Anyway, the book will be completed, and in the mail if you purchase it by Friday. So if anybody wants to purchase, the price is $45. That includes your shipping and whatever. If you're out of the U.S., it's $25 for the PDFs only. Okay? Do we all get that? So, guys, have a good rest of the day. I need to get off, and I need to lay down for at least 2 hours and mentally practice. Yeah, Joe's a character, man, I'll tell you. But that's okay. He's a likable person. Oh. Okay, guys. See you tonight at 7 p.m. Have a good rest of the day. Yes, the $25 on the PDF. Okay, gentlemen. Have a good rest of the day. We'll see you tonight, 7 p.m. MattPatellaLiveLessons.com. Different location. Have a good day.